as a player, you never know what's going to happen in your career as well. So when you start talking about a tournament 12 months in advance, it's like, geez, I hope I'm there myself.
I think the build-up was definitely unique and very different to what we'd experienced in the past, and we had some conversations here and there around how we wanted to take that on, I guess, and did we want to embrace it or did we want to not talk about it?
But as it got closer and closer, the focus got a little bit finer, and all of a sudden you started talking about the games and your opposition and who you were going to play.
And this is the most sort of hype they've seen around a tournament. I guess it also brings more spotlight onto you, and people have been talking about your form. How have you handled that?
Yeah, I'm okay. Seems to be everybody outside the group that panicking more than us in the group.
I knew I was under the pump. I'm on social media all the time, so I absorb all that, but I didn't really feel like I was far away.
Taylor's injury had a big impact, to be honest. We had a fair few plans for her against India, especially. To have that taken away from her was certainly very disappointing and frustrating, not only for us, but especially for Tay having to go through that.
My first emotion was I was just devastated for Tay. She hasn't had a good run with injuries in her short career, and it was just devastating for her to miss out on a home World Cup. I got a message from Flegs to say, pack very quickly and get up here, please. So it was all a bit of a whirlwind.
Molly's bowled well in the power play in the past and can bowl at any time throughout the innings, so we just felt like that sort of covered us as best that we could.
She handed me the pill, the new pill to take the first over, so I was a little bit nervous. The first game definitely didn't go how we wanted it to. The score we had at half-time to chase was not too bad. We thought that was pretty reasonable, and then it all sort of came down pretty quick after that. The batting innings, unfortunately, we didn't quite play the way that we spoke about playing. Poonam Yadav bowled well. She bowled how we expected her to bowl, and we didn't execute our plans. The loss hit us pretty hard, to be honest. In the rooms after the game, it was very quiet. Yeah, we weren't really sure how to react initially, because we know in World Cups, once you have a loss, it pretty much means you have to win every game from there on in.
Were there extra nerves going into tonight's game as opposed to other games? Did you sort of feel that expectation or that pressure more than previous games, I guess?
No real extra pressure or expectation. There are a few nerves out there today, and you'd be silly if you weren't nervous. I think walking out and there's 14,000 people mainly cheering for India. It was almost like, well, that just happened, like, let's move on, and now we know we have to play proper cricket to be there on March 8, which is what we've been promoting for the last 12 months. So to get an early wake-up call was probably what we needed, although we didn't show it in the next game.
Hey, well, Meg, is it panic stations or how are we feeling?
I've obviously witnessed a fair few World Cup matches from the sidelines. To be able to play in one was a pretty special moment.
Adipati was their main player, and she has been successful against us in the past.
We had a pretty clear plan about how we wanted to bowl to her and stay quite full to her and get under her swing, and she ended up smacking one to Meg at cover, so yeah, that was a crucial wicket. While she was still in, we were a bit nervous, hence my reaction when I caught her. I celebrated a touch more than usual. 3 for 10. It was probably lucky we were only chasing 120. It actually meant we could sort of take a little bit of time to get ourselves back in the game.
It was funny, I had to move myself from the dugout and had to go sit upstairs. I was just too nervous and I just couldn't really watch.
Actually, I felt really calm. I don't know why, because that first game heading into playing India, I was quite nervous. We were both just really clear about that. It was just about getting up and down, taking a little bit of sting out of the game, because the Sri Lankans are really up and about and quite loud. So that was our focus, just coming together and getting something going again.
Yeah, spinner came on and Rach was hitting with the wind, and that was sort of the over where she decided she was going to go and try and get us back on top, and she did that extremely well.
The reaction at the end, I think, was a lot of relief. We didn't want it to be that close, and we were under the pump, and pretty much if we'd lost that game, we were out of the World Cup, and that was a disaster. So there was a lot of emotion, I guess, after the game. To be able to react to that situation in such a positive way, I think sort of helped set us up for what was to come in the tournament.